Okay, welcome to the Roman numerals lesson number 2. Okay, what did we cover in lesson 1? Okay, we learned the different Roman numerals, right? If you remember, let's do a quick recap. This was I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. We also learned about rule number 1, which is we can combine these three numbers, or these numbers, sorry, we can combine I, X, C, and M up till 3 times, and we can create additional numbers. So for example, I can say I, which is 3, I can say XX, which is 20, or I could say C, which is 300. Okay, just a quick recap. Now, in lesson 2, we're going to learn about rule number 2. What is rule number 2? You can combine different Roman numerals. In most cases, I want to underscore it, okay? Because you're going to see an exception in rule number 3 for this. But in most cases, it is ordered from big Roman letters to small Roman numbers. I didn't mean letters, this should be numbers. Okay. Now what do we mean by big? Big, when I say big, I mean M, D, C in that order. So you'll always see that, right? And this order, when the number is written out, you'll see it from left to right. Now we'll see an example. So we can clarify what we mean by this. Now, what is the value of such a number? Now, the value of such a number is the sum of all the individual Roman numbers. Again, if we see an example, this will be very clear. Okay, let's go ahead and see some examples. For example, let's look at V and I. Now, what can you say about V and I? We're combining, right? We're combining V and I, which are two Roman numerals. Okay, we're also ordering from big number V, right, and I, right? I is smaller than V, so we're ordering from left to right, V and I. Now, what is the value of this number? The value of the number is simply the sum of the individual numbers. Now, what is the value of V? We saw that it was 5 plus the value of I is 1, and therefore the value of VI is equal to 6. Okay, let's see another example. Let's look at XI. Very similar thing. Again, we are combining X and I this time, and again, X is bigger than I, so it's ordered from big to small, reading from left to right as a reader. Now, what is the value of this number? Okay, X is equal to 10 and I is equal to 1, and therefore the number is 11. Okay, let's now combine three numbers, three Roman numerals. We're going to combine X, we're going to combine V, and we're going to combine I. Okay, again, reading left to right, big to small. What is the value of this number? X is 10, V is 5, and I is 1, and therefore the total is 16. Okay, let's introduce L now. So if I take L and I say I, okay, again, I'm introducing big to small. L is big, I is small. L, I, reading from left to right. L is 50 and I is 1. This value is 51. Hope you're following me. Now let's take a number that combines all the numbers you've seen so far. Okay, let's take L. Let's put 2xx let's put 1v. Remember, v cannot be repeated, okay? And I'm going to repeat I 2 times. Now, let's see what the value is. L is 50. The two x's are x and x, so that's 10 plus 10. I'm going to write 20 here. V, we know, is 5. And finally, there are two i's, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So the total number for this is 77. Okay. Now let's introduce C. Okay, C and X, and again ordered from big to small. C is big, X is smaller than C, and the value for that is C we know is 100, X we know to be 10, and therefore the value is 110, 110. Okay. Now let's introduce D. D is 500, C is 100, and X is 10, and again is ordered left to right, big to small. D is big, C is smaller than 500, and X is smaller than 100. Okay, and the value for that is 500 plus 100 plus 10, and that value is equal to 610. And the last one, just to have fun, this is the biggest number so far in terms of what you've learned. So let's put 1D. Remember, D cannot be repeated. Let's put 3 C's. 1, 2, 3. Let's put 1L. Remember, L cannot be repeated. Let's put 3 X's. 1, 2, 3. Let's put V. Again, V cannot be repeated. And let's put 3 I's. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, that is a big number. But again, it's very straightforward if you know the rules. Let's look at the rules. D is 500. Okay. There are 3 C's. Each C is 100. So I'm going to say 100 times 3. This is what you learned in rule number 1. So that's going to be 300. Okay. Plus you have L, which is 50. There is only one L. And then we have 3x. So each x is valued at 10. Right. So there are 3 x's. Therefore, it's 3 times 10, which would be 30. Okay. Then we have V, which is 5. And finally, we have I. The value for one I is 1. It's repeated 3 times. So 3 times 1, which is 3. So that value is 888. 888. If you add all that, that's what you get. Okay. Thank you. That's the end of lesson number 2.